What's up, my Saiyans? Now, I know I'm uploading a little later than usual, and I also moved spots because in my last two videos, I used the natural lighting from the balcony that's on that side of the room. And I did a few test recordings, and it was just far too dark, and you really couldn't see me or what was behind me. So I decided to move over into the kitchen and dining area that has three lights that are close to each other, which creates this much better lighting, as you can see. Now, like usually, I post topic videos on Fridays, and for tomorrow, I will also be posting something. I just don't know what yet, but I will get something out to you all. Now, before getting into today's topic, I'd like to thank all the new subscribers and the old subscribers, or as I like to call y'all, my Saiyans, for rocking with me and vibing with me and being with me on this journey, and I hope to see more of you in the future. Now, as for today's topic, at first I couldn't think of anything to talk about, even though I had all of yesterday and today to think of something, and then I finally did think of something. So, today's topic, PlayStation or Xbox, PSN or Microsoft. Now, for all my gamers out there, this is more of a personal choice. Now, my personal preference, I grew up playing PlayStation, and the first game I remember playing on the PlayStation 1 was Metal Gear. And then Metal Gear 2, Metal Gear 3, Metal Gear 3, Snake Eater, which is my favorite, Metal Gear 4, then so on and so forth. And then, fun fact about PlayStation, the first one came out December 3rd, 1994, which makes it 26 years old. Oh, and speaking of that, PSN, where was the invite to the party, huh? I've been rocking with y'all for a very, very long time. I didn't get nothing. It's probably lost in the mail, I don't know. But then fast forward to November 15th, 2001 is when the Xbox 360 released. Now, during the time, I've had the original Xbox, played it, loved it. But when the 360 came out, I kind of moved away from the PlayStation, to see what this was working with. Because at the time, I really didn't have a personal choice between PSN or Xbox. I just wanted to play games and have fun. Now, both of these systems have some titles under their belts. With Xbox having Gears of War, Fallout, and a few other exclusives only to itself, like Halo, obviously. And then for PlayStation, which had Uncharted, God of War, and a few of its own exclusives. And the differences between the two can go from slight to major. Like, one of the differences I found interesting was that the Xbox's processing speed processor was 3.8 compared to PlayStation's 3.5. So like a 3-thing difference, if that makes sense. If you're into something like that. I just thought it was something, interesting to find out. But if we're talking sales-wise, then the PlayStation outsold Xbox for current gen and last gen. Now, but sales, that's really just, popularity. What we really want to know is, which do you prefer, or which do you think is better in your opinion? Like I said, for me, I think PlayStation, because I grew up on PlayStation, and that's how I met some of my best friends from middle school into high school, and then after I graduated, we would have gaming sessions with each other for Call of Duty, Zombies, and 2K, and a bunch of other games. But Xbox, in its own right, has its own fair share of memories for me. Like, an Xbox lobby multiplayer chat for Modern Warfare was straight vicious. I mean, the things you would hear from these people to random strangers was crazy. And you didn't even have to be involved in it. You just got caught in the crossfire. It was fond memories, and it was pretty funny, I remember. But at the same time, PlayStation's chat is also vicious and crazy. Like, for the 2K players, shout out to all my 2K players out there, that chat can get crazy too. Either from beating someone in a game or not playing that well, you get sent hate mail. Now, I've gotten more hate mail on PlayStation than I would Xbox. That's just a fact, I remember. But both games also have their share of hardships and pain. And yes, my PlayStation did sound like a jet turbine engine, my PlayStation 3. And then there was a time where it would turn on by itself. At first, it kind of frightened me, but then I realized that's just what it does. It's just old like that. But then there's an equally great pain to the Xbox's Ring of Death, which has also happened to me. Now, I can't tell you what hurts more, the red screen on a PlayStation 2 when you can't get a game uploaded, or the Xbox's Ring of Death, which can't be fixed unless you had to send it to Microsoft, which is what I had to do, and then they sent it back to me fully fixed. So both have memories for me of hardships and pain. You've never felt pain like that if you've experienced those two things. If you have, and you're much stronger for it. Water break. Ooh. As far as design-wise goes, I like PlayStation's a lot more. I know this is sounding like me saying PlayStation is a lot better, but this is just my personal opinion. You know, Xbox has had some cool stuff. I just like PlayStation's controller a lot better because, you know, it's more fitting for someone with my hands. Like, I have small or medium to large hands, and the controller has a better grip for me for a PlayStation. And the Xbox's controller is a little more wider and girthier. Pause. And that's really fit for someone with a lot bigger hands than I have. But at the same time, you know, it's still a pretty solid controller. As far as the games go for Xbox, there's only certain ones I can play on the Xbox, like when GTA 4 came out, you know, the Ballad of Gay Tony and the Lost and Damned. You know, I strictly played those on an Xbox because it felt more natural. And then when GTA 5 came out for PlayStation 3 and the PS4, you know, I played San Andreas on the PlayStation, and that was fine. And then for the two newer games, it was still cool, but at the same time, I was more used to an Xbox feeling, if that makes sense. And then for the Xbox, there was also another game I could only play on it, which was, let's see, if I remember at the time, it was Call of Duty, I think. It was one of the Call of Duties. I'm not sure which one it was, but I think that was one of the only times I could really play it on an Xbox controller, which, if that makes sense to you. But like I said, in the end, it all comes down to a personal choice. You know, let me know what games you think is better when it comes to a certain system. Oh, I just remembered, actually. See, I just remembered. It was Saints Row, also on the Xbox. That was the only time I could really play it on the Xbox. It just felt like Saints Row was meant to be on Xbox and not really on PlayStation. And Saints Row 2 and 3 are probably the best ones. Saints Row 1, 2. But after the third one, then the fourth one and going on, it just stopped making sense. Like, you know, you ended up getting powers. You're the president. You're in a simulation. It just took a real wild turn. And I feel like that's why it really didn't do as good as the other ones. You know, people just lost interest because it didn't stick to actual stuff. It just got crazy all over the place. Sorry, y'all, there's a thing in my way. Anyway, with that being said, we are clocking in at about almost 9 minutes for this video, which is about the same amount of time for my last topic video. But, you know, tell me guys what you think. See, I'm getting tongue-tied. Tell me what you guys think. You know, which system is better? Which games do you prefer? Which games would you want to play over and over again and you won't get tired of? You know, just in general, what do you think is the better system? And tell me why. Drop that down in the comments below. And with that being said, I'm going to get out of here. Make sure you guys stay safe and stay out of the way because it is getting crazy out there. All right, I will see y'all in the next one.